I want to show you a quick way around this form thing. So if you're in the website, the dashboard, you click on Forms over here on the left. And if you click on Forms, it'll show you all the forms that you currently have available. This mini application, Subscribed, or Print are the two that are active. They show that they're turned on. The rest are turned off. A lot of these came over from the old site. In any case, you go to a new form, and we'll call this caregiver application. I always suggest to people that they date these forms so they have some idea of when they were created and their relevance. So I would usually do something like 08, 09, 2019. And you can put a description in here, whatever you want to call it, which can help also. This is form description. All right. And that'll take you into the form builder. This first window is confusing because they try to make this sort of like helpful thing. So it says, follow the steps below, select a field type, click add field options. Anyway, you can do that and read through this word. But basically what it is, it's a drag and drop builder. So over here you have simple elements. There are more advanced elements here. There are different types of these post fields you can ignore, and pricing fields because you're not doing any e-commerce here. So it's really just the first two. So standard fields might be, name, address, that kind of stuff. Actually, it's not even that. That's in advance. So let's start with name, right? So you take this name and you just drag it over here, and then all that gibberish goes away. Now you have first name and last name, right? And then you might say, okay, I also need their address, and I need their email, right? And you can change the order of these at any time. You just hover over it and just drag up and down. See? All right. Now inside of these, you can do a couple of things. If you click on any one of these, let's see, it will open up. You can double click it. You get this other stuff, and you can put some stuff here if you need to. And one of the most important things actually is to whether or not it's required. So in other words, you're going to require that they give you their first and last name, right? So all you got to do is that. And then you click on this, and you say email required, right? There's some other stuff in here, most of which you won't need to deal with, but you can do a lot of pretty complicated stuff in this, including what's called conditional logic, which is you can have a form, you can have the form ask a question, and then depending on whether somebody says yes or no in that form, it will trigger some other type of form element. So this would be where you would start, and then of course at any time you can hit update. It does auto save, but it's always good to hit that update so you don't lose your work. Settings up here, this basically relates to where the form is going to go, what the confirmation that's shown to the person who submits it is, who gets notified, some other stuff. Right now you don't have to deal with that. You can take a look at it, but when we get to that, we can work together on getting that set up. So right here now it goes to the administrator, I think is me, but you can add a new one, which would be you. Anyway, it's pretty straightforward. But then go back to the form, you go to edit, and you'll see up here actually one of the things that you can do, and you have to watch out for, is that this is a drop down up here where you can choose other forms to edit. It won't switch on you automatically, but just be aware that that is up there, and you have to watch out for it. So then if you want to ask somebody just like a question, like, how many years have you been doing something? So there's different types of elements over here. And it takes a bit of playing around to kind of sort out what these do. So let's say, so first off, you can do a yes/no thing with this radio button, I think. Let's see. Or you can basically give people a choice, right? And so you open that up and you say, multiple choice, right? And you can put a description in here. This is where we ask you to choose stuff. And then you can change the choices. You can see you can just type into there. And you can make it required or not. You can add choices, right? Or you can subtract them, right? Sometimes you got to look at this and you have to say, okay, well, I want to have a choice that is, you know, do you want to restrict them to only one? You know, that kind of thing. And sometimes I don't actually myself know which one of these works how, so I have to play around. So you can get the radio button, you can do a checkbox thing. Let me just drag this over here. So this one you could choose, you know, this, that, or the other. At any time, you can also do a preview on this form. Up here at the top, this little eyeball thing, you click preview. It opens up in a new tab. You'll see what the form won't look like this on your front end because it'll be governed by the style sheet, but this is a functional form, so you can sit here and start filling stuff out. You can say, okay, well, that's my first choice, that's my second choice. You can see that that's only allowing you one, but here I can do first and third, right? So that just shows you how those elements kind of work. And for if you want to ask somebody a long question, so let's see, Untitled. This is where okay, here we go. How many years have you watched children? Please give us a detailed description. And you can limit this. You can say, okay, 500 characters, and you can say it's required. And then we update this. Let's go see how that works on the preview side. So we go preview. All right, so how many years have you watched children? And oops, that's not the preview. That's the form itself. Let's go back to preview. Here we go. This is where I answer. Right? So that's pretty straightforward. There's also a single line one you can use. That just makes a sort of a short question. So you can say, I don't know what would be appropriate here. Whatever you want. There's also a thing that you can do with numbers here. So if you're asking somebody for a numerical answer, you want it to be a number, you can go in here and you can say, basically, you know, like, how many fingers do you have, right? And you can tell it, you know, kind of like the format and stuff. And you can say 0 through 10, and that'll show up. They'll only be able to give you a numerical answer. They won't be able to give you a text answer. Okay. I know some of your things had like complicated sort of tables. There are. I'm not quite sure how we'll deal with some of that stuff. It might just be having to do a longer set of short questions or something. But play around with this a little bit. If you get stuck, then we'll dig into those specific issues. But it's a pretty flexible tool that you can play with. And also, if you go under just do a Google for gravity forms tutorial, you'll probably find you'll find documentation here, docs.gravityform.com. And that'll walk you through a lot of stuff, and it can get pretty involved. But even if you just built out most of the bulk of the form, we can look at some of the more complex components of it. Okay, so that's about it. And give it a shot, and then let us know when you need us to step in. There is places where you can put a description, for complicated parts. We can also embed this form on a page with instructions, so it's not like the form has to be completely standalone. All right.